Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. Starting your weekend off with a beautiful view of the mountains as we start the first half of your day. Pretty dry with a few showers here and there. And then, of course, that rain really moves into the area, making for a soggy Mother's Day, unfortunately. Good morning, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us for 9 News Mornings. I'm Jordan Chavez in for Mark Salinger. Our Nusha Roy is on assignment, and we're going to check in with her in just a moment. But first, we got to get a check of your weekend forecast with Chris Bianchi. I said, unfortunately, for Mother's Day, mate, we know we need that moisture. I guess that could be good news for some people.
Yeah, we just don't want it on Mother's Day, right? Because on Monday, it's going to be beautiful for us. Just, if we could only, Mother Nature, if you're watching, we could flip-flop those next time. That'd be great. Just do that little oop-de-oop. But in the meantime, I think the big story, what we saw last night, at least from this nerd's perspective, look at this from last night. The Northern Lights, and we've been getting spectacular photos from you out there all morning long. The Northern Lights over Breckenridge. Wow, with that majestic view of the ski resort down below. And of course, up top, you've got Mother Nature doing her thing. And by the way, we've got a chance for seeing the Aurora borealis again for tonight. The issue is for tonight, we will be looking at much more cloud cover, certainly compared to what we just saw. In fact, going back to this for a quick second, we will be looking at that morning sun, afternoon clouds and showers. Sorry, Mom, tomorrow looking pretty dreary for us. And then a brief warm-up and mild for Monday. Meantime, HD operator showing us that rain and snow frost across southern Colorado. We, in fact, have some thunder snow for us in the La Salle Mountains as well as parts of the San Juans. Quite a bit of thunder snow, in fact, for us right around Telluride. We're seeing some of that, as well as into Lake City, and that will continue over the next couple of hours. That rain and snow will spin north, so clouds will increase for Denver with a few showers tonight. Better chance for rain tomorrow. Details on all of that coming up in my full forecast.
Sneak peek, just make sure you bring your jacket to the Rockies game tomorrow. All right, Chris, thank you. A significant development in the case of the 3 teenagers accused of killing a woman by throwing a rock at her car. One of them is now taking a plea deal. In April of 2023, Alexa Bartell was driving on Indiana Street in Jefferson County near Rocky Flats when a large landscaping rock crashed through her windshield. Investigators arrested 3 teenagers who they say routinely went on rock throwing sprees. On Friday, Zachary Quack pleaded guilty to first-degree and second-degree assault. As part of his plea deal, Quack agreed to a prison sentence of at least 20 years. The other 2 teenagers are still expected to go to trial, but now could face pressure to agree to their own plea deal.
What the prosecution has done in this plea agreement is 2 things. They've guaranteed a sentence of at least 20 years, and they've also established that the individual involved, the one pleading guilty, will not be eligible for any kind of juvenile facility. That's a pretty big deal. We're talking adult prison with adult prisoners.
Quack will be sentenced in September. The judge could increase the punishment up to 32 years. The 2 other teenage suspects are scheduled for trial this summer. The Poudre School District can't tell you the exact plan just yet, but they are sharing a couple of scenarios around closing and consolidating schools in the district. Like so many other districts, Poudre is dealing with declining enrollment and the resulting budget shortfalls. They built 4 scenarios. In all 4, at least 3 of the same schools will close: Beatty Elementary, Blevins Middle, and Johnson Elementary. Each scenario has additional details that vary, and we do have a link on our website, 9news.com, if you would like to learn a little bit more about that. The district is taking public feedback online through May 19th. The school board votes during its June meeting, and the changes would take effect not during this upcoming school year, but the next in 2025-26. Commerce City police say that thieves hit a bunch of marijuana shops 4 times in just 10 days. Police posted this video on Facebook showing one of those break-ins. The thieves used a car to bust into a business off Quebec Street overnight Wednesday into Thursday. That is the second time that business was hit. It caused thousands of dollars in damage. Police are still looking for that car, a Kia with no plates. There are 2 people visible in that video. Police think that there could, though, be more people involved. Happening today, hundreds of people will be walking with one cause in mind: mental health help for all. NAMI Walks Colorado kicks off in about an hour at Centennial Center Park. Our own Anusha Roy is emceeing this event. She joins us now. Anusha, they're still getting that set up, the last final preps, and then the fun begins.
Oh, yeah. Actually, Jordan, the fun has already started. We've got a lot of people showing up here, even in just the last half hour since I checked in with you. We've got different resources like Tepeyac Clinic is here, mental wellness program. But you know what? Today is also about having some fun. We've got the kiddos out here playing some cornhole. We've got bagels and food and families who are showing up for this walk that's going to be starting in about an hour at 9 a.m. here at Centennial Park. It is such a great event. We're talking about as many as 500 people who are going to be filling this park, all to raise awareness about our mental health and our behavioral health. It's also a fundraiser. They're closing in on about $200,000 at this point to go towards free resources and help for the community as well. It's a record-breaking year for NAMI Walk Colorado. They've had quite the history, right? They went through doing things virtually because of the pandemic. It snowed one year that we were out here in May, and people still showed up for that. And of course, this year we're very lucky that we've got, even though it's a little bit cold, I mean, we've got blue skies, the sun is out, everyone's in a great mood. And that's really one of the things that stands out about this walk is just how positive and uplifting it is. You know, everyone is here with their own story, they're sharing resources, they're talking to each other, and you're realizing that there's this really strong community that you can rely on here in Colorado. One of the big things that's a focus for this year's walk and really year-round for NAMI is talking about dismantling the stigma around talking about mental health. They want to make it as much of a part of our routine day-to-day conversations so that when someone is in crisis, more people know exactly what to do. And they think that is already starting to work. That's why they're seeing record numbers of people coming out for the walk this morning. If you're interested, you know, if you can't make it today, you can still fundraise online. You don't even have to come walk. You could sleep in for NAMI. You could go to brunch for NAMI. You can support them however you feel like this morning. There's a chance to continue to support for the next month through the next year as well. Jordan, it's such a fun event because a lot of times it's such a serious conversation. It's a heavy conversation, but today it is all about community. It is about bringing a smile on each other's faces. There's going to be dancing, there's food, and it's a great morning to spend with each other.
And we know when it comes to managing mental health, it is all about removing that isolation, being a part of that community, an incredibly important cause this morning.
Yes.
All right, Anusha, we're going to check back in with you later this morning. Heads up on I-70 closure in Aurora next week. The interstate will be closed in both directions between Colfax and Tower Road Monday night into Tuesday morning. The westbound closure will be from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. The eastbound closure will be from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. and crews will be finishing up work on the pedestrian bridge over I-70 just east of Tower Road. Detour signage will be in place to help drivers. In national news this morning, he is the biggest witness we haven't seen in Donald Trump's criminal trial, but NBC News has learned from multiple sources that on Monday morning, prosecutors will call their star witness, Trump's former attorney, Michael Cohen, to the stand. He called himself Donald Trump's fixer, now a vocal critic of the former president. Cohen unleashing on his old boss in his book and on social media, spotted online this week wearing a T-shirt depicting Mr. Trump behind bars. The judge Friday directed prosecutors to inform Cohen that, quote, the judge is asking him to refrain from making any statements about the case or Mr. Trump, but not placing a gag order on Cohen. Meantime, Trump remains under one himself, barring him from attacking witnesses and the jury.
It's a disgrace. It's not a case. There's no crime. There is no crime, and they failed to show a crime.
Trump has pleaded not guilty to the charges of illegally disguising his reimbursement checks to Cohen as legal expenses to cover his tracks. Monday's expected face-off between the presumptive GOP nominee and Cohen will likely be one of the most dramatic of the trial, with a grueling cross-examination. The U.S. government has a new plan to pay farmers to help stop the spread of bird flu in dairy cattle. Over the next 4 months, the government will pay up to $28,000 per farm to support specific steps needed to stem the spread of H5N1. Payout incentives will also go to producers that supply personal protective equipment to their workers and those that allow workers to participate in CDC research. Additional money will go towards farms' biosecurity efforts and veterinary bills for infected animals.